the only bullish angle over here in terms of a trend trade is the fact that the monthly gets recovered, right?
Hey guys, Krisha here. Please be cautious of any fake comments and emails you may receive from people pretending to be Mango Research. Shawn and I will never, ever contact you for investment opportunities or anything of that sort. To get in touch with the real Mango team, make sure to join our official Discord chat using the link in the description below. Stay safe out there, and remember, do it Mango. And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and this is today's Bitcoin and Polkadot analysis video. I have Shawn with me today. Shawn, say hi.
Good morning, everyone, and a happy Friday to all of you. Krisha, look at that.
That's right, it is a Friday, and well, Shawn and Krisha want to start off with our weekend shenanigans as soon as possible. So we are going to be keeping this video relatively short. Now, on today's agenda, of course, we'll be talking about Bitcoin, specifically on the weekly time frame. As you can see, Bitcoin is doing something interesting here. And only then will we be jumping down to, well, the lower time frames, because we are still playing out that beautiful falling channel. There are interesting things happening on that chart. And also, I got a lot, in fact, we got a lot of questions about Shawn's Cardano trade from yesterday. So Shawn will be giving you guys an update on his Cardano trade. And only then will we be jumping on over to the altcoin of the day, which is Polkadot. Now, I noticed that XLM actually came close to winning this vote. People seem to be panicking for some reason about XLM.
In fact, Ted Sheets also asked a question on Cardano, I believe. It wasn't a specific question to Cardano, but more so in terms of trade management. So I'll try to answer this question for you too, Ted. Krisha, try to remind me, but essentially he's asking, during analysis of Cardano, you're talking about invalidation above $1.32. You mentioned a close of a candle above $1.32. Essentially, he goes on to ask, I believe, what time frame do you look for your invalidation? And Ted, it really depends on your trade, right? If you're trading the 4-hour time frame, well, you need to be looking at your invalidations around the 4-hour time frame zone, right? If you're trading for example, if you're trading like the daily or the weekly time frame, and then you get invalidated on the 4-hour time frame, that kind of makes very little sense to me, unless that was pre-planned for a particular reason. And we do address these kind of questions in the seed risk management module, and you do have access to the seed risk management module. So having another overview of the entire module is going to pay dividends, Ted. There are people in the seed who've been in the program for like almost 2 years now, who have watched that module maybe 3 to 4 times now. So don't hesitate to don't hesitate to rewatch those modules over and over again.
Yeah, but also, this is a question that we get a lot, right? So now, getting on to, well, the Bitcoin chart, just to give you guys a quick set of thing on, how we look at horizontals. There's a reason as to why Shawn and I, we go up to the highest time frame, the most macro time frame, we plot in our support and resistance on those time frames, because more often than not, we see those SNR regions actually cascade on over to the lower time frames. We see price on the lower time frames respect those regions as well, right? And so I'll give you one tip, is that first start off drawing your horizontals on your higher time frames, and then boil down to the time frame that you are looking to take your trade on. See if price is actually respecting those levels, because there's a very good chance that those are going to be important regions of support and resistance. In fact, they may actually be the better trade setup for you guys.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, now getting on to, well, today's price action. Shawn, Bitcoin on the weekly, gun to your head, are you bullish or bearish?
I'm gonna remain bearish until I see what I want to see, and we can't talk about what I want to see.
On the weekly time frame, what do you want to see?
Okay, so put simply, right, we talked about a major region that to actually turn bullish, right? I'm going to first go from bearish to neutral to neutralish bullish, and then bullish. And that's a far ways off, Krisha. That's only above the zone over here at around 39,000. So I want to see candle closes above. And again, also depends on the structure. If we simply V bottom from here, that's not going to be enough for me because I'll be looking for a lower high around here instead. However, if we put in the right structure, in that case, then perhaps I will get bullish at that zone, right? So let's talk about why I'm not bullish just yet, instead of talking about when am I going to get bullish, because I think that'll be a lot easier for people to digest. Like you said, we have this green box over here. While we are poking into it at the moment, we haven't reclaimed it just yet, right? Then turning on over to the dynamic resistance over here overhead is beginning to widen up, sitting in line with my thesis of, hey, I want to see candle closes above the zone over here, right? So as long as we have the dynamic overhead, I'm going to remain bearish on the weekly time frame. I want to see candle closes above the weekly. Yes, I'll be missing out on some of the moves. In fact, not really, right? Because we have been taking bullish range trades one at a time towards the upside as well. So you're not going to be missing out that much. You'll just be a little bit more cautious and conservative until you do get those bigger trend trades. So weekly dynamic overhead still playing resistance. If we turn on over to your Ichimoku over here, Krisha, you're going to see the 21 EMA is still overhead as resistance, the Kijun as well, a lot of resistance on the weekly time frame. Let's wait for those levels to be claimed, and then we can start feeling a little bit more optimistic about Bitcoin. And what do you know, Krisha, that weekly 21 EMA lining up with that 40,000 region right over there. Now, a lot of people have been asking me, hey Shawn, we have now broken out of that falling channel, right? We can go ahead and talk about that, Krisha, actually, if you do want to jump in directly to it. Or do you want to talk about anything on the weekly time frame?
No, let's go back to the weekly very, very quickly. I just wanted to draw out a point of reference that Shawn mentioned on the Mango Dynamic. So let's just quickly go ahead and put that Mango Dynamic on. You guys know that I'm a very, very big fan of confluence, right? I want to see levels actually, have that confluence across multiple time frames. So there may be a zone of resistance that I personally am looking at. I've been using the cloud aggressively to really guide my my thing in terms of overall market sentiment right now, and so far the cloud has been nailing it. So as you can see here, I've marked out these wick highs right here, as well as the top of the dynamic cloud. Now let's get on over to the 4-hour time frame. I think there's something very interesting happening on these charts, and we may very well see cascading effects on over to the high time frame. So I want to see where these measured moves, where the next point of resistance, do we see those points of confluence?
Well, we're seeing a lot of confluence already, Krisha. Just right over here, you can see that this bull flag that we are putting in all of yesterday and a couple of days ago too, right? This move that we've been playing, the range trade move into, essentially we took our first trade over here, right? Yeah. As soon as we took out the highs, then we start playing the range one at a time, okay? And now this zone over here, I've not been too keen on trading because I'm waiting for the break, right? But we took 2 range trades already towards the upside. Now, this is the difference, guys, between what a trend trader will capture and what a range trader will capture. As a range trader, I'm essentially letting go of this portion of the trade towards the upside to get that more confirmation and validation, and to feel a little bit more confident on my trade for further upside, right? But as a trend trader, I'd be betting on that upside to continue because the trend is on my favor, right? The trend is on my side. Over here, the trend is not on my side, so I won't bet on that. I won't take a trend trade when the trend is counter to what I'm looking for, right? The trend is towards the downside. So taking a trend trade over here, unless you're trading on lower time frames, I don't see it. So what are we seeing over here, Krisha? Well, that bull flag against that resistance zone, against that zone that I wanted to see the bull step in, right? Well, we broke into it, and that lined up with your green box territory, and look at how well it was respected, Krisha. We broke a 4-hour candle into it, closed above it, tested it once, tested it twice, closed 2 4-hour candles above it, right? And now we're seeing the bulls attempt to break past it. Now we're seeing everything come together. The green box territory being respected, along with the resistance trend line of this falling channel also being respected. So this zone over here is a squeeze, okay? It's a really, really nice squeeze, but I want you guys to, again, put all the time frames into context, all the time frames into confluence, Krisha. It's the word of the day over here, because now let's clear out everything. Actually, let's just hide the horizontals, keep the dynamic on, and turn on your daily time frame. And you're going to see that, Krisha, the daily time frame dynamic now, we closed into the dynamic zone, tested it this morning, right? And now we're looking to close above it, but the bulls haven't done it just yet. Okay, and even if they do, I'm going to wait for the dynamic to flip green. So we still have dynamic resistance. We turn on your falling channel, you're going to see that, or you can't see it over here on the daily. Going back on over to the 4 hour, you can see it's right over there, right? There's more though, Krisha. Let's go on over to the 2-day time frame now, really quickly. You can see we're coming up against, did we take it out? Did we take out the previous 2-day candle high? Okay, we did take it out. I think it just happened, likely over the past 1 hour. Yeah, it just happened. So this is an important candle. What happens from around here is going to be really important. Let's go back on over to a 2-day, and what we're going to be doing now, Krisha, is we're going to be turning on our oscillators. And you guys who are observant, who have been watching Mango for a while, have probably noticed that we're about to have the 2-day stochastics cross, right? Haven't confirmed it yet, haven't crossed yet really, but we're kissing. If we do cross bullish, it's going to be the first trigger for potential continuation. That being said, on the RSI over here, we are seeing bullish divergence, especially between this point over here and this point over here, right? Higher lows. But what are we seeing on the chart? Well, we actually saw a lower low on a candle closing basis being printed right over here, guys. You can see it. Just keep it simple, okay? Keep it simple. You can see that slope over here going towards the downside, and over here we're seeing the slope go towards the upside. But again, at that point, right, when you see that initially, you only have the potential for bullish divergence. You haven't triggered it just yet. I'd be looking for a little bit stronger of a trigger, or stronger of a validation on the trigger of the bullish divergence. And essentially, I'd be looking for candle close above yesterday's candle close at around $32,000, and the high being taken out. We've done one of the two conditions. We've taken out the high of the previous 2-day candle close, but we've not closed above the previous 2-day candles close, right? If we do that, I'll be looking for the move all the way to the 2-day 21 EMA, essentially, Kusha, the top of your green box zone, right? Coming at around 34,300-ish. So we have the break of the falling channel, the break of the 4-hour bull flag, and 2-day bullish divergence triggering, giving us a move to around $34,000. It's not much, right? But you're playing the ranges one at a time, and you're taking the bull trades towards the upside, and by the time you have all of that put in place, you have been part of the bull move, and if the bulls do reverse this, you would have captured a lot of those trades without trading counter to the trend. You'd just be trading the range between the zones.
Yeah. Wow, that was an excellent multi-time frame analysis, Shawn. Okay, so I think you've pretty much covered everything that I was thinking about as well. I also wanted to bring up just one particular time frame that, well, Mango absolutely loves, which is the Mango time frame. We close that candle tomorrow, and that is the 4-day time frame, right?
I
want to go ahead and put on the Ichimoku cloud. I'm also going to go ahead and just knock off these scribbles. Scribbles, Shawn. Scribbles.
My apologies.
And this is one reason as to why I drew in those horizontals from, well, earlier in this video, right? I wanted to see if there was confluence across other time frames as well. Now, remember, we got that from the weekly time frame, right? We were looking at the weekly dynamic as well as the weekly candle body closes, as well as those wicks. And as you can see, that is lining up here with the top of the cloud as well as the Kijun. Shawn, I also want to go ahead and pull up the 10 simple.
Ooh.
Okay, so now you can see that the 10 simple moving has
it's coming
had,
down to your red zone, red line there.
Right, but it's had historic significance as well in that price has been living underneath that 10 SMA. The 10 SMA has been holding price down now ever since the breakdown of Bitcoin, right? From that 55K region. As soon as we start taking out the 10 simple moving average to the upside, okay, I'm looking for those candle body closes. I won't be surprised, Shawn. Okay, first off, we're going to be living inside the cloud once again. Notice how every time we've been living inside the cloud, we've done a nice sweet edge to edge on that cloud. I will not be surprised if we actually manage to get back up at the very least the 21 EMA and as well as that Kijun right there.
Yeah.
Right, the 21 EMA on the 4-day time frame, guys, for those of you who are on your cell phones, that comes in at around 37,700 dollars, and the Kijun top of the cloud is at $40,500.
Yep.
Now, what's so cool about this picture, okay, is that remember what we're seeing on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, now once again, multi-time frame analysis. We're seeing these regions of resistance, the 10 SMA especially coming in at 33,500. Now, if I go back down to the 4-hour time frame, Shawn, that pattern. Now, this is something that you brought up, right? A couple of days ago, wherein we see a fake out breakout of the pattern, only for price to get back into the pattern and for us to break to the upside. Now, this actually sees that break. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and plot the break of the pattern right here. All right, and let's go ahead and put in a line segment to mark out the measured move there. Now, the measured move of the pattern comes in at 36,140, but that is tentative depending on where we break. So, Shawn, what are your thoughts about this?
So my thoughts over here, Krisha, are confluence. So the way I'm playing my range trades over here, as you guys know, is I'm waiting now for the bulls to prove to me that they are going to be looking for that continuation towards the upside, right? We have come up against this 4-hour falling resistance trend line, which is also lining up with our daily dynamic, right? Let's go ahead and pull that up right over here. So I'm waiting for the daily dynamic to clear. But once it does, well, I'll be looking for the next trade opportunity to the 2-day dynamic resistance, which is coming up where? Well, right around the same area that you marked out your resistance line. You marked it out around 36,000, Krisha. Yeah. The 2-day dynamic resistance is coming in around 35,400. So somewhere around that region, I'll be looking to take my next profit of my next long range trade from around the daily dynamic. So essentially what I'll be looking for is a trade from the daily dynamic zone, Krisha, to the 36,000 region that you marked out, right? But in my case, I'll be taking my profits a little bit earlier on the 2-day dynamic. And then, Krisha, if you, again, speaking of confluence, you'll hide all the horizontals, go back on over to the 4-day dynamic, and you see that we also have resistance on the 4-day dynamic right over here, right? We're closing that 4-day in 17 hours and 57 minutes, and we're also closing a 2-day in around 17 hours and 57 minutes. So what are we seeing? Well, we're going to be seeing a potential confirmation of a close back into the 4-day dynamic, okay, with a potential 2-day bullish divergence getting triggered, with a potential reclaiming of the daily candle on the dynamic. But on the daily dynamic, right, if you guys want to be a little bit more conservative, I'd be looking for 2 candle closes. Now, in this particular case, guys, you can be a little bit more aggressive. Why? Because we have a lot of confluence of bull momentum from the lower time frames leading on over to the mid time frames. So you can play the range trade. Would I be looking for a trend trade over here? No. Would I be looking to give it too much leeway on my invalidation? No. I would be looking to, if things go wrong, I'll be looking to get out very quickly.
All right, and I think that's a pretty fair analysis, at least a bullish upside analysis. Now let's talk about the potential of price getting rejected here. And honestly, I think I'm going to keep this very simple. Okay, so first off, the overarching picture, guys, on the weekly is still bearish.
Yep,
all right, there's nothing bullish about this, not yet. I understand that people are getting excited for the 4-hour, pump that we saw recently, but this is still freaking bearish.
This is bearish.
All right, so don't get it too twisted too fast. Watch out for how price the weekly closes relative to that green box territory. Remember what we were looking for? We got a close underneath the green box territory, the bottom of that coming in at around 32,400-ish, give or take. Okay, if I see another candle body close underneath that region, I will be expecting further downside from Bitcoin. The first region of contention is going to be our monthly 21 EMA, which comes in at around this region right here, not too far, 26,500, and only then will I be looking at 23,000 as well as 19,000. Okay, it's going to be an if this then that. If we lose 23k, only then will I be looking towards 19k. And as far as, when does this really turn bearish is, well, look at the established trend that we have right now. That established trend is on the 4-hour time frame. We can see price putting in a series of higher lows on this chart. So I'll say this, as soon as we start losing this candle body low right here, or sorry, this wick low right here, which comes in at 31,700-ish, give or take. I will be looking for further downside from Bitcoin, with us actually losing that 4-hour 21 EMA once again. Okay, so keep it very simple for yourself. This is where the trend has been established. It's the only time frame so far. We lose the bullish trend over here, further down we come, which could also have cascading effects on over to your weekly time frame, with us closing the candle underneath the green box territory.
Yep.
Right, and that's going to be our next bearish confirmation. We'll see 2 consecutive candle body closes underneath that region.
Nope, I completely agree with everything you said, Krisha. The picture is still bearish, and the only bullish angle over here in terms of a trend trade is the fact that the monthly gets recovered, right? If the monthly pulls in a good candle close, right, then we could be looking at this candle over here, the month of June, as a potential higher low.
Yeah.
So that's the only angle over here, because leading up to even the weekly time frame, guys, we have bearish structure. So it's only the monthly that's holding Bitcoin's bullish structure in place right now.
Yep. So Shawn, now let's get on over to your Cardano trade. People have been asking about your Cardano trade.
Right. So, okay. So essentially, let's keep it really simple. Krisha, ADA USD. Essentially, the questions I was getting, to summarize it, is, Shawn, hey, did you are you still in your trade, right, or did you take profits? And again, guys, remember, please do not try to copy trades, but understand that every trade is different. But yeah, I did take profits on my trade, but unlike Bitcoin, right, my trade on Cardano, I have not taken all the profits, right? I've taken around 75 to 80% of my profits, a little bit more than 80%. I think it's more like around 82%, because I'm taking more and more off, shaving a little bit more off as I see price action. However, I'm looking to keep at least around 15 to 20% of my trade as long as certain conditions are met. So let's go ahead and talk about why I took profits. Essentially, we've been talking about this major zone over here that Krisha has marked out. Hold up. Yeah, so this major $1 zone over here, I did post a screenshot of the chart I'm trading on my trading view, right? So Krisha and I use different accounts for our trading view, so I have different horizontals marked out. So go ahead and check out the chart I posted on Discord for my levels. I have a bigger zone drawn out for my trade. So I did take a trade, a range trade off that zone, and we saw an immediate bounce, but I did take profits. Most of my trade in I've taken off already, mainly because of the dynamic resistance coming right overhead over here, right? So we came up and hit daily resistance on the dynamic. However, I left a portion of the trade in. Why? Because unlike Bitcoin, Cardano is holding its weekly dynamic, and it's doing so beautifully. Each time we've come up and tested the dynamic over here on the weekly time frame, it's been a long-term buy, right? You do get a opportunity to accumulate along the dynamic, hunting for that bigger, longer-term move that could give you 100%, 200% for all we know. For example, right over here, right? How much did this give us? Well, 1,800%. So I'm looking for that move. So in that case, even if I have 20% of my position in, as opposed to the 100%, that 20% could turn into a huge win, right? So when you see a situation like this, guys, as a trader, you need to know when to leave a portion of your trade in, as opposed to taking all of your profits because you're getting greedy for, hey, I want all of it. I want all of it now, right? And that balance I have been able to find depending on whether the trend is going in my favor or not, right? So unlike Bitcoin, where the weekly trend is bad, Cardano's trend is still holding according to the dynamic. If this turns into another 500% move or 1000% move, I'll be happy that I kept that 20% in. However, if this breaks down, I'll just exit the rest, and I'll be fine with that, because I've felt the pain, Krisha. You and I have both felt the pain where we've taken 100% of our trade off the table, and then what happened after? The coin went on to do another 10x.
Yeah.
Right? If we had left even 10% in, we would have felt much better about ourselves.
Yeah. So, I mean, the best you can do, guys, is just, if you're in a similar sort of position, have those invalidation points in place, right? Set up some certain constraints for your trade as to when you need to get out of that trade if certain points are met. Now, this is what Cardano USDT is up to. This is Shawn's trade update. Shawn, are you ready to get on over to Polkadot?
Yep, let's do it.
Okay, now guys, remember, if you want us to cover any of the altcoins that you are looking at, take this time to get down to the comment section and tell us which altcoin you want us to cover. And of course, the popular vote wins. And hey, if you're enjoying this video so far, if you're finding some value from it, definitely do smash those like buttons because, well, it helps us out tremendously.
Yep, and leave a comment down below letting us know you enjoy these kind of videos. And yeah, let's do it, Krisha. Dot.
Let's do it. The dot. Okay, dot USDT. Wow, this is so tidy. It's so bearish and it's so neat. It's crazy. Okay, I have horizontals clearly. I'm going to go ahead and remove all of Shawn's drawings and my horizontals. And you said, how about the Ichimoku cloud?
There's not enough time frame for the weekly time for the weekly.
So how about we'll do the 2-day?
That's fair.
Okay, let's do the 2-day time frame.
You're completely right. It's really neat on its downtrend.
And what are we seeing here? The downtrend is still intact. We have a red Ichimoku cloud that is a bearish TK cross. We're seeing price actually live underneath and get held down by the 2-day 21 EMA as well as a 10 simple moving average. Let's go ahead and also put in some horizontals. I had some horizontals there, but I wanted to start off with a neat chart. It gets overwhelming. I don't know if you guys feel the same. When you have too many horizontals on your chart, you just want to get rid of all of them, right? And just start fresh. That is the major region of resistance I see overhead. How about support? Support honestly only comes around here.
Yep.
Right, and let's go ahead now and draw in that midpoint.
That would be the 10 SMA.
Right.
Ooh, that's perfect. That's how neat the chart is, Kusha. Look at that. Right over there, the support point that we bounced off, your mid zone, the midline that you just drew in. We saw support right over there, right? So the market was pricing that in far ahead of time. And again, over here, we're seeing resistance. So tested it, bounced, came back, tested it. Not that big of a bounce this time around, a lower high compared to this high over here. Broke down, putting in a lower low, made another lower low onto your resistance level, support level rather. And now we're using this support flipped into resistance as resistance, lining up with the 10 SMA on the 2-day as well. So beautiful downtrend on DOT. You got to give it credit right over there.
It's gonna be an easy one, right? Let's face it. It's gonna be an easy one. Why? Because the midpoint actually lines up with the 10 simple moving average. We have yet to close consecutive candle bodies over the 10 simple moving average. We managed to do it once right here, only for us to lose it swiftly on the next candle. Similar setup right around here. So it's about me really seeing those consecutive candle body closes over that 10 SMA, which also lines up with the midpoint. This comes in at $13.62, give or take. As soon as I start seeing consecutive candle body closes over that, I'm saying further up we go. Where to next? Well, first region of contention is going to be the 21 EMA, okay, which comes in at $16.36, and then up to the Tenkin. All right, the Tenkin also has confluence with that major horizontal that we drew out for you, right? That comes in at around $18. Yeah, I mean, DOT is pretty straightforward. I mean, we start getting rejected off of this midpoint right here at $13.62. Once again, I'm saying further down we come, back down to $10.12. Look at how neat it is on its ranges, right? So there's don't overcomplicate charts like this, guys. Do not I don't care if you have a bag of Polkadot. When it's giving it to you on a platter, it is your duty to just listen to what price is telling you. You do not dictate to price, let price dictate to you.
Yep, exactly.
Okay?
Well said.
So when charts are this neat, just listen to it. Just listen to it. That's all you need to do to make money.
Listen to price.
Okay, listen to price. Keep it simple for yourself. So far, I think we're up against resistance.
So, Krisha, what if we close above the Tenkin? What are you seeing? Let's give them some bullhopium because I see something.
Oh, it's neat. Like, that's the thing. It's so neat.
It's neat to the upside too. There you go, Krisha.
Like,
you're seeing it.
There's no
perfect.
point. There's no point.
That's like a beautiful falling. It might not be the perfect falling channel before the pattern traders jump on my neck, but I'll be looking at that as a break of a downtrend with a continuation all the way to the Kumo twist over there. C-span trade lining up with it potentially. How much percent is that, Krisha? $18 to around $27. $100.
Like from the Tenkin all the way up to the bottom of the cloud.
50%, yeah,
that's
there
going to be
you
a good 50%. But even the one that we have right above us, right? So I was looking at the 10 simple moving average from the 10 to even the 21. That's going to be a 19%. Right, from the 10, if we actually manage to get up to the Tenkin right there, which is the end of the range, that is going to be a good 33%. There's much money to be made on this chart. Do not come in with your biases. It makes no sense when it's this frigging neat.
And honestly, going back to what I mentioned in yesterday's video too, guys, you're completely okay to say, you know what, I'd rather play only the bear side on this. So if we do break above the 10 SMA, I'd wait, right? I'm willing to wait for us to clear the Tenkin as well before I get bullish, right? It's fine to say that, guys. It's fine to say that if you want to be a little bit more conservative, right? Everyone has different personalities. And Krisha, what if we do something like this, right? Put in like a shoulder, we have a head, we do something like this, come in, put in another lower high, then you guys can hunt for that lower high over here, right? And then look for the break into the Kumo twist.
Oh, that
right?
would be
You guys see that,
neat.
right? So left shoulder, your head, your right shoulder, your inverted head and shoulders into a reversal for the uptrend. Polkadot going on over to $100 eventually. There's your bull hopium, guys, and it's valid, right? Why not postulate for a continuation of a trend? If you're going to get bullish, regardless of how the charts are looking, have proper invalidation points and structure onto your charts, and that way you can trade it if it does start showing its face.
Yeah. And do not forget, there's also a downside play, which is the bottom of the range. And that, of course, comes in at $10.12. We did see a bounce initially off that region. So I'm saying this, if we actually see, multiple candle body rejections at this region, this $13.62 region, I'm saying further down we come, that is going to be a good, what?
23%.
20, yeah.
What if we break that, Krisha? What are you looking at next?
17 to a good 25% to the downside. We start breaking that, then... God, I don't think... No,
you can't. It could be possible.
Of course, everything is possible.
I think Polkadot could very well get down there to around $7, perhaps even those candle close highs at around, I believe, $556. I traded Polkadot on the way up, so I'm pretty sure we could get down there if Bitcoin starts seeing a breakdown to around 19,000.
Yeah.
Polkadot could get down there, and if you guys are long-term bullish on Polkadot, right, just keep that possibility in mind, so that you know how to behave or react to the price if that opportunity comes down there.
Yeah. $7.83. I think Polkadot is a good project. Those could be potential bargain buys, but that is not financial advice. Please do not take that as financial advice. So yeah, 783 is going to be the next stop if we start losing $10.14 to the downside. Now these are your most immediate targets for Polkadot. Keep it simple, keep it mango. Alrighty guys, do not overcomplicate charts like this. Shawn, is there anything else that you want to add to this analysis before we wrap up and continue with our weekend shenanigans?
Nope, I think we covered it all, Krisha.
Perfectamundo. And with this, guys, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao.
Ciao, guys.